Okay, dear students, yesterday we discussed about the introduction of surface chemistry and we do some terminology. The terminology is adsorption. What is adsorption? What is adsorbate? What is adsorbent? What is sorption? Okay. Sorry, absorption we haven't studied. We discussed the desorption. These four terms we have discussed in your previous lecture: adsorption, adsorbate, adsorbent, and desorption. Now today we will discuss about adsorption and absorption. Okay, pay attention. This is AB, absorption. This is AD, adsorption, which is happening at the surface. And absorption is a different thing. We will discuss now in this what is the difference between the adsorption and absorption. So suppose this is a container in which water vapors, water in gaseous condition, H2 gaseous, is filled. Now we put in between some silica gel. Okay, SG stands for silica gel. Now silica gel have quite good property towards the water molecule. That water molecule starts moving towards the surface and starts sticking on the surface. So that's why silica gel is also used to create dry condition, because it absorbs moisture from the outer atmosphere to the surface. So this phenomena comes under adsorption, because it is happening at the surface only. These water molecules not moving inside the silica gel, they are only returning at the surface. But if you are using a particularly another container, in the same thing you fill some water, okay, water inside it, and you put a foam particularly. Okay, you know, particularly your bed sheet are made up of foam particle. Okay, so you will see that these water molecules will move inside it. Okay, throughout, move toward inside. That is termed as absorption. So adsorption is a surface phenomenon, while absorption is a bulk phenomenon. In English language, if you talk, bulk means stands for large amount. But if you go for the scientific language, bulk means to say inside. Okay, so clearly understand the meaning of the bulk, because he used many times these words, particularly bulk, which have different meaning in English and stands for different meaning in chemistry particularly. So bulk means to say inside matter, if you are talking in science language. Okay, so that's why we will call that absorption particularly is a bulk phenomenon, while adsorption is a surface phenomenon. However, there is a case in which you will see that both things is happening simultaneously. Like how? Suppose this is a container in which water is filled. Okay, beaker you can take. Suppose this is a beaker in which water is filled up to here. Now you add some ink. Let's say blue ink we added. So blue ink particles give it color, water. So it becomes a solution. Okay, ink and water solution. Now we use a chalk. We are using a chalk particularly, and we dip inside it. Suppose this is chalk particularly. Okay. After dipping, sometimes we are taking out the chalk particle. So this is the chalk after we have put. So now ink is a dye particularly. Ink are what? Dye, color substances. So you will say that when you break this chalk from somewhere, like we make it in two parts particularly. Okay. So like this part I am showing you. So you will see that after breaking, the color ink will appear you only on the surface, while water you will see inside. These are water molecules. You will see that chalk get wetted inside foam, but color of the blue color appear only on the surface. Why? Because the ink particle only attached to the surface, mean to say get adsorbed on the chalk surface, while water particles get absorbed, mean to say moves inside. So both things happening at the same times, adsorption as well as absorption. So that is termed as your particularly absorption, mean to say both is happening simultaneously, mean to say adsorption plus absorption, both are happening at the same time. So this term is termed as absorption. Desorption, you already know that removing of these particles you can remove by rubbing it. So the removing of adsorbate from adsorbent is termed as desorption. So desorption is different, absorption is the different. So that is the difference in adsorption and absorption particle. That adsorption is a surface phenomenon, absorption moves inside, or you can say is a bulk phenomenon. Okay, so that is the all difference, and both things are if happening same time, that is absorption. For all examples you have to must learn that one of adsorption, one you can explain of the absorption, and absorption as well you can explain with the helping ink solution with the chalk powder part, chalk material part. Okay, one more topic we will do today, which is important quite, that you have to prove that adsorption surface phenomenon is a exothermic process. You have to prove it that yes, it is a exothermic process. How will you prove it? Let's say you know that adsorption happening itself, mean to say it is a spontaneous process. It is happening itself. We are not doing it. We are not putting dust particle on dust. We always found that. We are not moving ourselves these water particle on silica gel. Silica gel attracts is happening itself. Mean to say adsorption is wherever is happening is a spontaneous process. And you have already studied that if a process is spontaneous, then delta G must be negative. Must be negative value. Okay. Mean to say if delta G is for this whole process, delta G is negative. Now if you talk about delta G is negative, mean to say this delta H minus T delta S term should be less than 0. Okay, this whole combination should be 0. Okay, now you will see that, sorry, less than 0, mean to say negative. Now how we will prove that yes, adsorption is negative? Pay attention. When some particles, suppose a gas particles are attaching to surface of charcoal, this is charcoal, these gas particles are moving towards this. So the entropy means delta S. Delta S if you find out, mean to say entropy change if you find out, it will comes negative, because gases randomness is getting decreased. Gases particles attached to the surface, randomness factor decrease. So that's why delta S will come negative. So this whole term minus T delta S term become positive. So how, but delta G should be negative, and how it can be negative? Only, so now it can be only negative if delta H is negative and delta H is greater than T delta S. Both terms are necessary. The delta H is greater than T delta S and delta H is negative. So in that condition only delta G can comes negative and process can be spontaneous. And but we already know that delta G is negative. So that's why we can say delta H is always negative, mean to say adsorption is always a exothermic process. Okay. So today we will discuss two particular topics from the surface chemistry, which the differentiate between adsorption and absorption. The second topics that you have to prove scientifically that adsorption is a exothermic process. Okay, so this is some calculation topic, this is theoretical topic, you both have to do read particularly. Okay, so your homework is the read the NCERT up to the which prove the adsorption is exothermic process. Okay.